Hey, buds. Welcome to the Fantasy Buds podcast. It's your host, Brian Gold.
Marc and Brian.
And I'm Tim Stewart.
And if you want to follow us on social media, you can go to the link tree in the description below and follow us on Threads, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the show. That's nice. Yeah. That sounds about right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fantasy Buds podcast. It's your host, Brian Gold.
Marc and
And,
Shit.
yeah. There is pure silence on that end because our good friend Tim is not here today. He is in the Amazon jungle teaching cannibalistic tribes about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So he's on an important mission.
We got to give it to Tim for, always...
He likes to do stuff like that. He's kind of like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, kind of like a humanitarian.
Like, remember when he went to go get... I don't know. I'm running out of things. Anyway, it is August 22nd, 2023, early in the morning, and we are going to start talking about our final rankings for receivers this year. And this is kind of a personal favorite player list where we have guys in certain places that are a little different than consensus, but it's just how we personally feel about them. If you have any surprises about it, you can certainly give us a holler, follow us on our socials, and tell us that we're fucking stupid. So I think we both have the same wide receiver one, if I'm going to start off here.
Let's be honest. If it's not Jefferson...
It's Calvin Ridley.
No. Mine is actually Calvin Ridley.
No, it's Justin Jefferson.
Come on. I don't really think that there's even really much you can say. I don't know how he's not the 101 in every league.
I've taken him 101, and every time I've done that, I love my team. He covers up for a lot of mistakes on your roster. He's the wide receiver one in 2022, first in targets, catches, and yards, eighth in touchdowns. All 3 years of his career, he's finished 6th, 4th, and 1.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Like, barring injury, do you think it's going to be any different than that?
This guy, he's pretty much the new AB. I would say. I think he's about to go on a run of 1, 2, 1. Like, he's about to go on that run. I think the only guys who are going to challenge him, we'll talk about them, obviously, but
for me, I remember last year when we did this kind of episode, and I said that about Cooper Kupp. He was going to go on a Antonio Brown-esque, but he's in his 30s at this point.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson he's not even 25 yet. Right?
I want to say he's like 23.
No.
24.
I think he's 24.
24.
If he's not 24 yet, he's probably almost 25, but whatever.
24.
He's 24?
24.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not even in his prime yet.
No.
And he's doing this.
Fucking guys my age.
He's fucking, yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man?
You're 24?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that you're born in like, whatever.
2004.
2004.
Dude,
But,
almost having 200 targets.
Yeah.
Too,
I don't think we need to talk too much about Justin Jefferson.
Nah,
Take him 101.
Yeah. Don't even think about it.
If he falls to you, take him.
Don't take Jamar Chase, number one. I love Jamar Chase, but take Jefferson.
Take Jefferson. He's the best receiver in the NFL. He's been doing that pretty much every year of his career since he's a rookie. He won Rookie of the Year, and he's been a beast every single year so far. I don't think it's going to be any different. He's going to be on many playoff teams in fantasy, and the situation is basically the same. He's still got Kirk Cousins. He's got help with Hawkinson, Addison, and KJ Osborne.
It's like playing Call of Duty Zombies and getting the Wonder Weapon.
Yeah.
Getting the ray gun.
Don't even fucking sweat it.
Don't even think about it. Get him.
And
who's your second wide receiver?
Cooper Kupp.
Okay, so
which is a little different than consensus, I would say.
So we already have a a disagreement. So I have Cooper Kupp at 4. I have Jamar Chase second.
I have Jamar Chase at 4. Cooper Kupp second.
That's actually interesting.
So the reason why I have Cooper Kupp second is because if you remember last year, up until week pretty sure it was 9. Week 9, he went out with a season-ending injury, basically. It wasn't season-ending at the time, but the Rams were so bad that they just shut him down for the year.
Probably the right move.
Definitely the right move. There's no sense, like, if you're out of the playoffs, there's no sense in risking his career for what? Just for numbers?
Yeah, easily their best player.
But the year before that, he was the Triple Crown king. And he's going to get back a healthy Matt Stafford. People are worried about the hamstring injury, and that's not going to be an issue. He's going to be ready by week 1. It's more of a chance he's going to be 100% by week 1 than more of a chance he re-injures himself. I read from one of those keyboard doctors on Twitter. I already forgot his name, but I saw he has a 15% of chance of re-injury. So I'd say for what kind of player he can be, even if you get 15 games out of him, he misses a couple. Like you're gonna be satisfied with Cooper Kupp. Why do you have him so low though?
The only reason was, so to be honest, I mean, it might sound a little silly, but the injury, it does worry me a little bit just because of how old Cooper Kupp is. And I feel like, not that he won't be ready for week 1, but I'm not going to be surprised if he's a little banged up the whole season, or at least the first half of the season. Look, I fucking love Cooper Kupp. I adore this guy. He still finished top 10, 6 of the 8 full games he played last year. He averaged 25 points, about 12 targets a game. That's stupid numbers. I think he's a lock to finish in the top 5 as long as he plays at least probably even 14 games, I would say. But number 2, I have Jamar Chase, and number 3, I have Tyreek Hill. And the only reason why I have those guys ahead of Cooper Kupp this season is just because, I mean, I don't really think there's any questions with any of these guys. Like look, to be fair, the only question I have with Cooper Kupp is the injury. But these guys are a little bit younger, especially Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, I want to say 23 years old now. Tyreek Hill's 29. Like, guys are a little bit younger in their prime. Jamar Chase I have so high because he missed 5 games last year, and he still had more catches than he had in his first season, where he played a full season. He had 1,000 yards, 1,046 yards, 87 catches, 134 targets, and 9 touchdowns. This was with 5 games missed. What's going to happen when those 5 games do not get missed and he plays, I don't know, 15 games this year or 16? I think they can jump right below Justin Jefferson, those numbers. Now, I don't think he's going to outscore Justin Jefferson. I think Jefferson's that good. I think he's the best receiver in the league. But I think Chase could creep up to, I think he's good enough to get to the 1,700 yard mark. And I don't want to say Cooper Kupp can't, because he has, and he definitely could. But I'd rather bet on the 23-year-old player with no lingering injury right now than the 31-year-old player with the lingering injury from last season. Well, not from last season, but from training camp.
Well, to be fair, to combat that, the thing with Joe Burrow, his injury lingering, what if he's banged up the whole year? Then who's thrown to Jamar Chase?
That's possible also.
And then Jamar Chase he missed 4 games last year and had a very down season. So I'm a little bit more, I think you should take him in the top 5 without question. I think he's going to bounce back this year. But in terms of rankings of where I really want guys, for me, I'm going Cooper Kupp ahead of him.
Yeah, but I do think that's fair,
for
to
this
be honest.
Year in particular. Like if it's Dynasty, get Jamar Chase over Cooper Kupp, I would say.
But I don't think you can go wrong with picking any of these 4 players. Who do you have number 3?
Tyreek Hill, actually.
Okay, so I was gonna say, so we have the same top 4. So I feel like as long as you get one of these 4 receivers, you're in pretty good shape. Like, I feel like you're not gonna be upset.
I mean, Tyreek Hill's literally the fastest player in the entire NFL. You're not gonna go wrong with getting Tyreek Hill on your team. I mean, he's the fastest player in the league. Tua led the league in 40 and 50-yard touchdowns from Pro Football Focus. And when he's the guy that's leading the league in deep balls and you got the fastest guy in the league, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to get big plays. He had a 68% success rate on 9 routes, go routes, and he had 67% on post routes. So you're going to expect big plays.
Yeah, and like people want to just say Tyreek Hill is just a run straight guy. This guy's one of the best route runners in the league, and he has been for years now. And he had far and away his best year this year. Like I was actually looking at the numbers the other night, and it actually is like not even close. Like this is his best season of his entire career that he had, and he played with several quarterback downgrades. And saying Tua's a downgrade is not knocking Tua. It's just saying how great Mahomes is. Like you're going from Mahomes to Tua. But everybody also expected regression from Tyreek and Mahomes.
I think, and honestly, in my opinion, from my view, I think that's more of a nod towards Kelsey, how good he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I
Tyreek Hill leaves and he becomes the guy, and you see what happens.
And now Tyreek Hill is like totally the guy, also. And
meanwhile, while he was there, it was always Travis Kelce. He was always the guy, always the go-to guy.
And don't get me wrong, Tyreek Hill was still fucking amazing there. But I mean, like this season, 119 last season, 119 catches, 170 targets, 1,700 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And this is all playing next to Jalen Waddle, who finished as the wide receiver 8 last year.
Also, to say, to talk about like Tyreek Hill, he's not just a deep guy. He's got a 90% success rate on curls, 84% success rate on slants, 92 in the flat, 90 on the comeback.
He can run everything.
84 on a dig. And this is all data from Reception Perception by Matt Harmon. I highly recommend going to that site and getting your data to get stud receivers in your draft this year. Absolutely. Not a sponsor.
Gotta throw that in there.
Yeah, he's 83rd percentile in man coverage, 90th in zone, and 96th in press. Like he's a great route runner.
Jalen Waddle was incredible last year, and I think we can all agree on that. Tyreek Hill still commanded a 30% target share on the Dolphins that offense, and I mean, I think it's just.
I'll be right.
Just
keep talking.
No. It's just a nod to how good he is. Like, top 25 score, 15 of the 17 games he played. You can just count on him being a top 25 player. And I don't have the numbers on him, but I can guarantee at least 5 of those weeks were probably top 5, even top 3. So, yeah, draft Tyreek Hill. In the top 5.
No-brainer, of course.
Like, draft Tyreek Hill. Don't think about it. I don't care about Jalen Waddle. I don't care about Tua's injury. Tyreek Hill played with Skylar Thompson, and he was still doing well last year. Draft Tyreek Hill.
Just get him the ball, and he's going to go 60 to 80 every single fucking time.
Draft Tyreek Hill.
Now, at 5, I have Stephon Diggs.
I also have Stephon.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
It's
basically the same 5. I mean, I feel like this is everybody's consensus top 5 in terms of receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to get cute. There's no reason that we should put like Calvin Ridley at fucking like in the top 5.
Much as I would love to. I just can't
I'm sure you would.
Just can't do it. Like
or even like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like I'm gonna put him at 3 or something to get real fucking cute. Like
I mean, I do love St. Brown, but
he could finish there, but I think you're better off taking bets on these 5 players.
Diggs has never finished since 2020, since he got the Buffalo. He's never finished lower than the wide receiver 5. So you're getting a top 5 wide receiver no matter what.
Literally the best route runner in the NFL.
Like
attached to Josh Allen, who everybody loves to take him as high as they can in fantasy drafts the past few years. And if you're going to go with the quarterback, you got to go with his number 1 target. And Stephon Diggs. I mean, there's barely any competition there for targets. Because I'm not a really big believer in Gabe Davis.
Not either.
Last year, he was 4th in targets, 3rd in catches, 5th in yards, 2nd in touchdowns, and he had a 90.1 receiving grade from Pro Football Focus. So, do the fucking math. Like, what was that?
Yeah, did you hear that?
No, it's Siri. Shut up.
I was
like, who's talking? Siri, stop.
I was like, am I actually hearing a voice in my head?
They're always fucking listening to us.
Here come the dogs.
Here come the dogs. What's up, puppies?
Hi, guys.
Come give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Don't knock the cameras over.
Come on.
Lucy. They just want to be pet. That's all. They're excited. It's the morning.
Diggs actually set a career high in touchdowns last year.
I saw that
too,
and it didn't feel like he was scoring a shit ton.
No, but like, I mean, to be honest, to see him doing that at this point in his career is like,
I think it was an outlier almost because
hello,
hi Libby. You know, you got anything to say about Stephon Diggs? Yeah.
Say there's nobody else on the fucking team.
Yeah. Gabe Davis is boring, she just said.
Yeah, Gabe Davis will have a couple games where he catches like a bomb and he goes up, but then it'll
be against one of us.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like Stephon Diggs, you're getting the lock for a top 5 receiver, 9 top 10 top 10 fantasy weeks last year. That was the most in the tie for the most in the league. I think that, you know, if you're taking him, it's just another sure bet. He should go in the first round every single year, every draft.
Until he's not on Buffalo anymore.
Yeah, until he's not on Buffalo anymore, or
which it's just a rumor. That's not true at all.
Yeah. I don't.
They almost just knocked it. Girl, you gotta park it. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and when I say he's the best route runner in the NFL, like all over the board, whether it's a 9, a post, a dig, a curl, a slant, screen, flat, comeback, out, corner, he is in the 90th percentile. He is in the green for everything.
He can literally do it all.
He can literally. And he was also 90th percentile or 97th percentile, man. 96 in zone and 96 in press. Like literally upper echelon type route running.
And it's like
beautiful.
And he's elite in every aspect. Diggs can catch a 60-yard touchdown, or he can give you 10 catches for 120 yards. Like, he can do everything. Like, he'll rack up catches. He'll give you a bomb. He'll give you 3 touchdown games. He'll give you 50-point games. And he'll more often than not will be solid with a good floor too. I think Diggs is just always a great player to take in the first round. I think he's very solid. Well, I don't want to say solid because he's incredible, but you know, solid, like he's safe for the first round. You're guaranteeing yourself a top 5 wide receiver, barring injury.
And the best part about that is my favorite thing to do if I'm picking towards the end of the first round and I get Stephon Diggs, I like getting on the comeback one of those young receivers like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, whether it's maybe like CeeDee Lamb, like to pair with him. Like,
if you compare him with one of those guys.
Like when we were talking about little Whittle about his team last week. With
a tiny fucking guy. Oh, yeah.
He got Diggs and Adams.
Which is stupid because Adams is actually
stupid.
Next. He's 6th on my list.
Adams is way down actually for me. Because I have A.J. Brown at 6.
I have A.J. Brown 7th.
And I have Devontae Adams at 9.
Okay.
Just because, like Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, not to mention, we said the same thing last year about Derek Carr, but
I know.
Even with Jimmy Garoppolo, the injury thing also scares me with Devontae Adams too.
Yeah, I could see that also. Maybe the injury's a problem. My reasoning for having him so high was I mean, like top 3 for the 3rd year in a row. Second best yardage outing of his career last year, actually, with 1,516, 14 touchdowns, almost 200 targets, 180 targets. I think the only player with more was Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken. So there's really nobody else there. I mean, is Josh Jacobs going to play? Is he not going to play? I think he will play, but it's like Jimmy Garoppolo is in the same tier, I think, as Derek Carr, to be honest. I don't think it'll be much different. Until I see it with my own eyes, like Adams physically drop off, I just can't put him lower than 6.
That's
to be honest. Like I just don't think, because it's like you said, we're saying the same thing last year. Like like I said, they're in the same tier. I think Adams will be fine. I think we'll finish in the top 7 to 8 again. But
that's like, I only did that because I just like. So I have AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, and Chris Olave ahead of them. I like their season outlooks better than Devontae Adams, but I think Devontae Adams is still going to be elite. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
There's
really
so
like
many good
those
receivers
guys.
To where some guys are just going to be pushed back.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
the way
like
I feel
the
it.
wide receiver 8 or 9 will still probably have,
like there's no problem having Devontae Adams as your wide receiver 1.
They're still going to be wide receiver 1 seasons.
Seriously.
High-end wide receiver 1 seasons. Like you might have a receiver finish with 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns and be the wide receiver 9 this year. There's so many good players in the league. So many good. Like when I was making this list, I was like, there's so many like fucking good wide receivers in the NFL right now. Like there were guys I really wanted to put on this list and I couldn't. And you just can't justify putting them over some of these players, like AJ Brown, for example. Like I had him 7th, you had him 6th.
Yeah, and AJ Brown, he had the best year of his career in Philadelphia last year, arriving there. And you see it with these receivers, these young receivers that have that upside, and they get traded to a new team and they get attached to a young quarterback. Same thing with Stephon Diggs. He was decent in Minnesota at first, and then he got traded to Buffalo, and he went to another level. I feel like it's going to be the same thing with AJ Brown in Philadelphia. He's attached to Jalen Hurts. It's going to be the best offense and the best team in the NFC. I'm going to fucking put a stake in that as a Philly fan. Fuck San Francisco. And yeah, I just don't think you need to think much about him. I think he's an automatic end of the first, beginning of the second pick every time if he's there. My dad last night got Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown, and I was like, is it because you're in a league with a bunch of fucking old dudes and they still think it's 1996 and you got to go running back?
Like it's
heavy?
just all running back in the first 2 rounds.
And it's like, hey guys, they're not getting 30 carries anymore. Those days are kind of over.
How the fuck do you get Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown?
That's what I said.
And I don't care that Devontae Smith is there. So Devontae Smith and AJ Brown both finished top 10 last year. There's no reason why they both can't do it again. Devontae Smith was actually a guy I wanted to put on this list too, but I couldn't.
See, like I feel like only every year there will be a situation where 2 receivers on the same team will finish in the top 10. But I think you're only going to get that like with one team because there's only so much.
Yeah, and it's like you said, some guys have to be moved back just because there's so many good players in the league.
Well, wait.
What the fuck is that?
It's the fucking ice machine.
Oh man. So first year with a new quarterback, you get another summer of, and there were reports coming out that apparently somehow that Hurts and AJ Brown look even better, like their chemistry looks even better, which I don't even know how that's possible.
It's also another thing. It's going to be the second year of them together, building more chemistry.
Yeah, I don't know how it's possible for their chemistry to get much better than it was last year, but
also their schedule is much harder. They're playing the Chiefs.
It is harder.
They're going to be playing the Chargers. It's going to be.
But I think that could be good.
No, like it's going to be good games where they're going to have to score. Even last year when AJ Brown was dominating, there was times where he's taken out because the Eagles are blowing teams out.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be the case this year. I think the Eagles are going to be in a lot of close games, And A.J. Brown is going to be an essential piece to that offense to move the ball around.
I think it's good to know, too, A.J. Brown's also pretty efficient.
Yeah.
Also, like, he's underratedly efficient. Throughout the whole year last year, the lowest he was fourth in rack yards per route run and yards per target. He can have 3 catches in a game. One of them can be an 80-yard touchdown. So, yeah, I would 1-2 turn. I'm looking at A.J. Brown every single time. I definitely love A.J. Brown. I think he's a lock to finish in the top 5. I'm honestly even 5. I could see him creeping into 5. It's just hard preseason to move some of these guys down for him, but I could definitely see him creeping into the top 5. I mean, he's the alpha on arguably the best offense in the league. So,
have a good day. It's my mother.
Gotta always take care of your mother.
Always put her first. So at 7, I have Garrett Wilson.
I'm 8th.
Okay. I mean, did you just copy my fucking list, dude?
Yeah, I actually, the Russian spies that I sent to your house
That explains a lot.
gave me your whole list, and I just changed it up a little bit.
That explains why I just woke up this morning and there was just dudes all around me. I was like, what are you doing here?
Bunch of guys in suits and sunglasses.
And then I woke up and I just went black. Woke up. I was like, where's my list? So, yeah, I mean, Garrett Wilson, he's got Aaron Rodgers now. He won Rookie of the Year and had over 1,000 yards with fucking the likes of Zach Wilson, Mike White, and
Joe Flacco?
Yeah, Joe Flacco, too. He had 3 different quarterbacks won Rookie of the Year. Now he's getting a Hall of Fame level quarterback. Not a Hall of Fame level. He is a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer. 4-time MVP. He just won an MVP back-to-back in 20 and 21. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers has fallen off enough to where he's not going to support a wide receiver 1. He's done it throughout his whole career. He knows to target the best guy. He's given Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams multiple wide receiver 1 seasons. I think it's going to be a no-brainer for Garrett Wilson. And who else is there? It's going to be fucking Alan Lazard. Like, come on. I don't think so.
Nah, I don't really believe in him much. Yeah, he's got a pretty shiny new quarterback. 147 targets last year. And those were actually, so he only had a 56% catch rate. I am not putting that on Garrett Wilson.
Just noises all around right now.
Dog noises.
Dog noises. Get off the equipment, honey.
Audible dog noises.
Jesus Christ.
You comfy?
Look at them. They just love attention.
They just want to be involved.
But it's okay. At least they're dogs.
But,
it's not like there's just like lizards all around or something.
Lizard people sneak into the room.
Yeah. I think everybody's top 10 has Garrett Wilson and also. I mean, we're not going to get fucking cute this year. That's fine.
No, I mean, he had 83 catches, 1,100 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I expect the 4 touchdowns to skyrocket this year. He was expected about 8 last year and finished before, so 4 below expected. I think the 8 is a lock this year with Rodgers, and I could see it being even as high as 12 to 14 by the end. I think he is top 5 upside. I just couldn't put him that high in my preseason rankings, to be honest. But I do think his upside is. I think he could finish as the overall wide receiver 3 because I think the Jefferson's too good and that Chase, Cup, or one of those guys is too good and they will be second. But I could definitely see him creeping up into the top 3 even. Like, he's that good. One of the best rookie years in recent memory.
Here we go.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. Why? 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 Like, why now? All right, outside. Here we go. It's the second fucking time. Let's go, girls.
We'll be right back after this. Nice.
Woo! Holy fuck, dude.
He's like, all right, outside.
Yeah. Like, it's gonna start, But those are my babies.
But yeah, miserable quarterback play last year.
Yeah.
For Garrett Wilson.
Fucking awful.
Miserable. And now he gets Aaron Rodgers. I'm still taking Aaron Rodgers washed up over Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and Mike White.
Say he's washed up. Like,
no, I'm saying in the off chance maybe he falls off and he is washed up.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm still taking that over what they had last season.
Dude, they had from Joe Flacco, Mike White, and Zach Wilson. They were getting bottom tier quarterback play.
Yeah, and
they had some games.
Look, Rodgers was mid last season, very mid, but to be honest, look at who he was playing with in Green Bay. Who was he really throwing to last season? Basically all rookies. And now he goes and gets, again, a shiny new toy. It goes both ways.
The one, they could have got him, Garrett Wilson in Green Bay, I'm pretty sure, right? Was he?
I don't know.
Was he a second round pick or a first round pick?
No, Garrett Wilson was a first rounder.
Mm. But even then, like, they didn't get the rookie of the year for him, so it's not like they could keep him there in Green Bay.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is gonna fucking love Garrett Wilson just like he loved Devontae Adams.
Also, this is one note that I love about him. The following receivers that have hit 80% success rate versus press coverage in their rookie seasons: CeeDee Lamb, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Odell Beckham.
And notice how
it's going to be a hit.
Basically every single one of those guys has hit, and the only reason why certain ones haven't is due to injury.
And that's later in their career. Like,
yes.
Early in their careers, they were... I mean, and it's still early for Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson, but the first few years for Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, and Odell Beckham Jr., I mean, they're top 10 receivers, top 15 at least. And they were winning you games. And Garrett Wilson is going to do the same this year.
I really think there's no risk with Garrett Wilson. Like, I slam draft. If he's available in the second round, slam draft.
Slam it.
To be even if you're picking in like a bigger league, like 12, 14, I know people playing 16-team leagues. I'd take Garrett Wilson in the first round, to be honest. Like, I think he's that good.
16?
I've seen 16-team leagues before.
I'd rather be like...
Oh, no. I mean, I'd rather be shot and killed.
I'd rather be quartered.
Gonna be picking Chris Olave in the first round.
I'd rather be chopped up and sold at Acme than fucking...
playing a 16-team league.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't even do that to myself. And the dogs are barking. The next guy I love at 8, Chris Olave. Let me guess, you have him there too?
No, so Chris Olave was an honorable mention.
Wow.
For me.
And you fucking love Chris Olave.
I do. I just couldn't put him ahead. So I'll just run through it real quick. 8, I had Garrett Wilson. 9, I had Amon-Ra St. Brown. And 10, I had CeeDee Lamb. And I just couldn't put Chris Olave over those other players. And I really wanted to, but if I were to make the list a little longer, he'd be number 11.
Okay,
Chris
so
Olave.
I have Lamb and St. Brown at 11 and 12. Just because, like I said, I like how certain situations for certain guys, and I think just that's going to be the pecking order. I think wide receivers 1 through 15 are going to be very, very solid for most fantasy teams. They will put you in the playoffs, I think. They will be no-brainers. Because it's going to be on a larger scale.
They'll all be minimum 1,200-yard receivers.
And with Chris Olave, he had a great rookie season, and he's had a lot of success with his routes, and he's getting a major upgrade at quarterback. Like, I chat on Derek Carr a lot, but...
it's still an upgrade.
It's still a major upgrade over fucking washed-up Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Like, holy mackerel.
And like, let's be honest.
Were ugly last year.
Let's be honest. I don't care about whatever I'm seeing when Michael Thomas. He's not going to play. the whole season.
Yeah.
So like I don't care about the
It's
videos.
been 3 straight years. Like,
yeah, I don't care about the videos I'm seeing.
Prove it.
So
Please.
yeah, like he will miss time.
Like,
and
we've given him all these chances.
And Chris Olave over 1,000 yards as a rookie. If Garrett Wilson didn't exist, very well could have been the rookie of the year last season. And depending on who you ask, some people might tell you Olave was better last year than Wilson. I don't agree with that personally, but
I don't necessarily agree with that either.
But I love Olave. I just couldn't put him over St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb. St. Brown especially, I mean, target monster on a high-powered offense. Wide receiver 7 last year with 6 touchdowns.
Are they really going to be high-powered, do you think? Like
this year they might take a step back, maybe.
Yeah.
I can see him taking a little step back.
Because as long as you have Jared Goff, I just don't think
there's a cap to your
I think
ceiling,
there's a certain
maybe.
cap. Like, I think they're going to be within the top 10, but like people are expecting another jump. And
Well, I will say last year, if I'm not mistaken, weren't they a top 5 offense?
yeah, and I just don't see, like, they got 17 touchdowns out of Jamal Williams,
Which they're not getting. But I do think 17 vacant touchdowns being created might help St. Brown a little bit.
that is true.
And there's nobody there. Jamison Williams suspended again, too. And
he got hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he was there, like, I mean, St. Brown is a sponge. He's a fucking target hog. Like, I want to say he had like 90 something his first year as a rookie, as a 4th round fucking pick. And then last year, 146 targets. Now, the only reason why I don't have St. Brown higher is because I don't think he has that yardage upside that some of those other guys have. Like, I don't think he has like 1,500 yard upside, 1,400 yard upside. He's just not that kind of receiver. He's a move to sticks, high volume kind of player.
Keenan Allen.
Yes. But
He's like a younger Keenan Allen.
But to be honest, I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback.
And the Lions are in a lot of games just with a great game script for a great receiver. Like, they are in a lot of games where they are either in a tight game or losing. And I don't see their defense getting much better. I mean, maybe like another step from Maiden. I mean, like, you can have one great player that might not make your defense great still. So the Lions, historically, they have not had a good defense for a long time. So until I see anything different, I love St. Brown. Yeah. I think if the touchdowns get to the double digits, because he had 6 last year, if he can maybe even get to like 10, which I think is possible. I mean, 17 vacant touchdowns from Jamal Williams being gone, 4 more even. I think he can creep up into the top 5. I mean, he finished top 7 last year with 6 touchdowns.
You're not wrong. See, like, and we were just talking about this. There's just so many. So basically, we are going to have to bank on some injuries for some players to move up, because it's like all these guys are fucking great.
Yeah, like, they're all great.
They're all great, but somebody's got to be 12. Somebody's got to be 13, 14, 15. Like,
and it sucks.
And it sucks. But like, even if St. Brown is at 12, he could have 100 catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns, and that's still wide receiver 12. Because you got Jefferson, Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown. I believe in Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. You got Devontae Adams. There's DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb. Like, there's
Lamb
all
also.
these guys.
DJ Moore, another guy, really wanted to fit on my list somewhere, but
I put him at 10.
I just couldn't do it. I really wanted to.
Because I really love him this year.
I
And you
do
know why?
too.
And it's what we were talking about earlier with Stephon Diggs to Buffalo, wide receiver 1. A.J. Brown to Philadelphia, wide receiver 1. DJ Moore going to Chicago with a young quarterback. I think Justin Fields can take a jump. Same way these other guys did. That's what teams are doing now. With young quarterbacks, they go and get them a guy so that they can go to him, bail him out of situations, and make him look a lot better than he is.
DJ Moore is also
help him progress.
Still fairly young.
Yeah.
Also, like,
he is going to get
26.
Peppered.
Well, I mean, this guy could still break out,
Yeah.
essentially. I mean, not like he hasn't technically already, but I mean,
he could be like a Cortland Sutton where he's capped and like 1,000 yards is his.
Yeah, no, I think DJ Moore is good enough to reach another level. This guy's been playing again with miserable quarterbacks
Seriously.
for the past few years. I really wanted to get DJ Moore on my list,
Like
but
he
I
got
just
Cam Newton towards the end. He's had Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. Hasn't been too great for him.
no. But I think DJ Moore is going to eat this year. Top 10 finish I can see for sure. I just, like I said, couldn't put him ahead some of these guys. I'd probably have him like 12th or 13th if I were to like put him here, just because I can't. I have Chris Olave ahead of him.
I'm gonna let the dogs in. Keep talking.
And CeeDee Lamb, I have 10 too. And like I feel like CeeDee Lamb's kind of not getting talked about too much because of all the other guys this year, especially like the exciting guys like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, even some of like the the bigger stories this year, like Calvin Ridley and guys like that. So I don't really hear anybody talking about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has steadily gotten better each. Yeah, and I mean he's gotten better pretty much every year he's been in the league. He's gotten steadily better. 28% target share last year on one of the best offenses in football. 9 touchdowns. There's not really a lot of talent around him. I mean, they added Brandon Cooks. I think that can help take a little bit of pressure maybe. But I mean, Brandon Cooks isn't young anymore. I mean, I don't really think it's going to be too great there. But look, if history repeats itself, CeeDee Lamb will take another step this year. He had 107 catches, 156 targets, 1,359 yards, and 9 touchdowns last year. So the 9 touchdowns was an increase. The yards were an increase. Catches was everything was an increase, and he's done that every single year of his career.
That's fair.
I just don't really think that's going to change. He's young. I do think he can get to that 1,500 yard mark. I think he's good enough to do that. He was the wide receiver 5 last year, so I mean he has shown us he could finish top 5.
But my question is, well, the reason why I have him so low, like, yes, he was top 5 last year, but like that was also the first time he's done it.
That's true.
So for me, and it's fair, like there's other guys that you can say that are in my list that haven't done that, et cetera. But for me personally, like what is his like floor? Because he was 22 and 19 in his first 2 seasons, and then he jumped to 5.
Yeah.
So is he going to stay in top 5, or is he going to be 12 to 10? That's just kind of, and
that's
only
why I had him
because
at 10.
Because they got Tony Pollard, they got Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup, and Dak, I feel like, has been a guy that spreads the ball around the offense. He's a facilitator of the offense. He still stinks, but
I do think, though, I just kind of love the offense. So I always like getting the Cowboys #1 receiver, much as fuck the Cowboys. But it is, I mean, like I feel like they always eat. I feel like they always have a good #1. I mean, like we've seen it over the past couple of years, especially guys like Des Bryant, now CeeDee Lamb. Well, Des Bryant, Amari Cooper, now CeeDee Lamb. But like I said, I've seen nothing that really has shown me CeeDee Lamb won't improve again. He's not really getting talked about this year, and I feel like he could potentially be a value if he falls in like the 2nd round. Maybe he falls behind a couple other guys, but I think he will finish at least near the top 8. Like I'm not going to be surprised at all. Like, I mean, he's already shown he can have over 100 receptions in a season, which is huge for PPR. I mean, most players, I assume you play in PPR, but I mean, like 100 catches.
Yeah, if you're in standard, you're boring.
Yeah, that's very boring.
Like, who wants to do that to themselves?
And like to be honest, I don't think the targets will really go up. I think they'll stay around like the 150 to 60. But I do think that he can turn that into 1,500 yards. Like he is good enough to do that.
Break off a couple extra.
Yeah, but I couldn't put him anywhere higher than 10 after going over it a couple times.
Like, stop.
Yeah, I just couldn't put him higher than 10. And then 11, I had Chris Olave. 12th, I actually had Calvin Ridley because I just had to put him on my list somewhere because I just couldn't not. But I probably, it's hard for me. I'd probably, I have him in, like, it'd be him or DJ Moore, I would say. because I just really love them both. But DJ Moore's the only guy there.
See, I have DJ Moore ahead of Calvin Ridley because, like I said, when a guy's on an island,
yeah, he's the only guy
target.
there.
He's going to get every single fucking target.
And to be honest, if Calvin Ridley was the only guy in Jacksonville, I'd probably skyrocket him up my list, but he's not. And
he's not.
As much as I think he's the most talented and he is the alpha and he will separate himself, there's still other targets there. Like, there's still other guys there who are great players.
I think more often than not, he's not going to have like double-digit targets like most of these guys will.
No, and I think that his upside is huge, but not as huge as some of the guys we've talked about. I do still think he'll smash his ADP, but now his ADP is getting too fucking high. Honestly, like there's
because you see like 2 training camp clips, and it's like, oh my God, he's the best receiver ever.
Yeah, and it's like, to be honest, what made me kind of put him as my MVP player wasn't because I thought he finished as the wide receiver 1. I thought he'd smash his ADP, basically, is what I was trying to say with that. But his ADP was in like the 4th, the 5th round when we did that. Now, I've seen him go at the end of the 2nd. I'm like, you're fucking nuts. Like, I'm like, there's just so many.
Yeah.
Like, even in our league, like, I was thinking about in the TJ draft, like in our 12-team draft, I was like, fuck, I really might have to take Ridley in the 3rd round or I'm not going to get him. And he didn't even make it to me in the 3rd round. Somebody took him even earlier.
And there were 2 guys that were going to take him.
There were 2 guys that were actually going to. So I still love Calvin Ridley, but I have kind of moved him down a little bit since we've done that. Still think he'll be great. But now I think you're going to draft him at his ceiling. But sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I think
that
if
now he doesn't hit, then that's like
now could sink your season a little bit if he doesn't hit.
If he's your 2nd or 3rd receiver, then it's a different
story.
But people are drafting him as their number 1 or I think Mike. Or no, it was Brandon.
Brandon took him, but Brandon also, if I'm not mistaken, took Jamar Chase.
That's true.
And I can't remember who his 2nd pick was right now, but I do know he had Jamar Chase.
But now you're picking him so high, you're sacrificing
some of these other guys we talked about, or even some of like running backs, or
some of the running backs in the middle
quarterbacks too. Like, I mean, like at the beginning of the 3rd, Josh Allen falls to you.
And Calvin Ridley went ahead of him.
Well, to be true, but I'm saying, like, if you have the choice between those 2 guys in the 3rd round, like, are you really going to pick Calvin Ridley instead of Josh Allen? Like, I mean, don't overthink it.
That's what Brandon did.
Yeah, then that's why, like, I really thought somebody was going to take Josh Allen.
Now he has like a solid receiving core, but they all have to hit.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like when you take the upper echelon quarterback, they have a better chance of producing for you than
100%.
Like these guys, and it's barring injury, because if an injury happens, what can you fucking do? That just happens.
Yeah, I do think Calvin Ridley will finish inside the top 15. But again, the wide receiver 15 could have 1,200 yards and fucking 7 or 8 touchdowns, which is still great.
Yeah.
But, I don't really think you're getting as much of a value anymore with him. Like, I think you're drafting him at his ceiling. So, yeah, that kind of rounds out my list.
That rounds out my list, too. Honestly, pretty solid list.
Yeah, I think...
I don't think they were too crazy. I don't think...
Nothing too bad, right? I mean, maybe Calvin Ridley's bad, kind of.
No,
but
I don't think so. I mean... Look, we will see the season unfold.
Yeah, we just got to watch football.
Yeah, we got to watch football. It is coming closer and closer, and I'm certainly excited to see these guys play.
We'll have running backs next week. I just want to fucking argue with Tim.
Yeah, we can argue with Tim when he comes back from the Amazon jungle.
Yeah.
Or the burning building he's saving babies out of. Thanks for listening to the show, and have a great day, everybody.
See you guys next time.
Peace out.